Hey guys, heading out into my backyard and the woods on my property. Got a pretty decent 8-point on camera back here now. A couple of smaller bucks, bunch of does. So I put a tree stand out here yesterday in a big pine tree. Hopefully he shows back up. He was here right before dark, so stick with me guys. Hopefully we'll see something tonight. Oh, it's November 7th. I think we finally got some cooler weather, so I hope that gets them up on their feet. Stick with me. Well guys, I got set up here. Like I said, I just put this tree stand up yesterday, just for a quick spot to get into after work. There's been quite a few deer coming through here, so I'm hoping something comes through with this kind of a cold front compared to what we've had the last week. Got a nice northwest wind. It's hit me right in the face, blowing. You can actually see the neighbor's house right back over my shoulder here. So it's blowing my scent all that way. And the deer come from the north and from the south, possibly, if they're bedding on my property at all. But I'll show you guys, I'll give you guys a kind of a view of what I'm looking at. So guys, I'm in a giant pine tree, and got this old stand that a friend of mine was getting rid of. He was gonna throw it away, so I figured I'd put it to use. But what we got out here, guys, is the neighbor's house is right there. The house is probably only 80 yards from me, and a lot of deer come out into his backyard over here, and they come from back in here, coming this way or going this way. This is kind of a natural little pinch point between his house and my house. There's another house right back over here, as well as over here through the woods. So this strip is pretty much the only strip of woods they have to get from across the road back to here, or vice versa. There's actually quite a few deer that bed right up in here, between his driveway and his yard, and between my yard over here. There's about probably a 2-acre swath right in here that I've never even walked in yet. I didn't go in there all summer. I haven't touched it, and I've seen deer come out of that before. That's where the doe that I shot a couple weeks ago, she came right out of there, and it's real thick. It's really thick. So hopefully something comes out of there, maybe. So it's a pretty good little spot to get into after work. Like I said, it's easy to get to. Just slip in here, get set up. That's the pop-up I set up for Aubrey and I to hunt out of, that we really haven't hunted out of yet. She hasn't really been wanting to hunt much. I was gonna sit there, but if I have my choice, I'd always rather be in a tree, especially with my bow. I could sit there using a crossbow, but I'd rather use my bow whenever I can if I have the choice. So that's why I threw this stand up here. And so that's the setup, guys. I hope we see something tonight. So you guys hang out with me and hope for the best. Thanks for being here. You can definitely tell that we're only a week away from the opening day rifle season here in Michigan. There's another one. Tommy and I sighted our guns in yesterday. Got them all ready to go. One more week. The Orange Army comes out.
Well, guys, it was a beautiful night to get out in the woods. We finally got some chilly weather. I actually got a little chilled out there. After that buck came through, I had a couple does and fawns run across the backyard. They cut across my yard, and they were probably 60, 70 yards out from me in the thick stuff. I couldn't get the video of them. They moved through pretty quickly, but I'll give you a little backstory on that buck. Yesterday, when I was out hanging up that tree stand, the neighbor's dog come over, and the neighbor come over to get the dog, and I met him, and he asked me if I had any bucks on my cameras, and I told him, what I had on my cameras, and I said, there's one that's got a real bad messed up leg, and he's got his one antler on the right side's growing almost straight down, and he said, oh, you seen Gimpy? He said, yeah, I've had that deer on camera for about 2 years now. He's like, maybe even 3. He said, I have to go back and look, but he said, that deer is actually pretty old. So when that deer came in, I had that in my mind. He actually said, try not to shoot him. He said he's kind of a familiar, that deer probably lives within 500 yards or so of my place, I would imagine. I've had him on camera since late summer. So obviously he's pretty hurt and he's not making it very far, but he's made it at least 2 years that the neighbor knows of, so that since he's been injured. So it's one of the things I debated shooting him. I mean, I had him at 10 yards broadside, but I had the neighbor's words going through my mind, and But then as he's walking away, I'm sitting there questioning myself, like, did I do the right thing? He's obviously hurt pretty bad, but again, he's still making it. So it's kind of tough for me. You know, he seems to be getting around pretty good. You know, he was munching on acorns or whatever, you know, browsing on stuff. And he looked like it was hard to get around, but he's been around for a while, so I'm not sure what to do about this deer. So what would you guys do? Would you guys shoot him? You know, would you put him out of his misery, or would you let him go and you know, he's made it this long, let the guy live the rest of his life, the rest of his days out, you know? What do you guys think? Because like I said, at first I was like, man, I should shoot this deer. Or at first I was like, man, I'm gonna let him go because he's been around. And then as he's walking away and I can see him the way he was walking, I felt bad too for not shooting him. So, I don't know. He's been on my cameras, like I said, a lot. So he'll be back. I'm sure I'll see him again. And I may or may not decide to take him. I'm not sure, but it was a good hunt. It felt good to get out there and just be right in the backyard and seeing deer. So the rut's still going, so hopefully we'll be able to get back out and see some more bucks. I don't know if they were chasing or what, but after them does come through, I could hear them running around back there in the woods pretty good. So I'm not sure if a buck was back there, you know, running them around or what was going on, but they never come towards me. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed that little hunt there. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't checked out the other videos, do that. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. And we'll see you guys all on the next hunt.